Again, if you've just joined us, several things. I explained that this morning. We talked about our plays and what play we're going to be in, and the fact that we either need to do a play and come to 3 live sessions today, or we need to do science mod 8. The second thing I shared with you was some links to the plays that were chosen, the Big Brag, Green Eggs and Ham, and the Lorax. And these are links that have famous people reading them, so you can listen to them expressively. And when you go to your breakout rooms to work on your plays, I would recommend you listen to at least part of one of those plays. So again, since Javen just came in, I'm going to put those links in there. So make sure you've opened up the links to the plays or opened up a link to one of the read alouds before you leave the main room today. Today we're doing lesson 1601, and it's all about triangles. So today is 1601, and it's about classifying geometric shapes into things like, if you already know what an obtuse and an acute triangle are, and what a saline, an equilateral, or an isosceles triangle are, then you could probably go. But otherwise, that's what I'm going to be talking about today, 1601. I'm going to do a quick mini lesson, maybe 10 minutes, and I'll put you in breakout rooms to work on the math. And if you get done with that, I'll make breakout rooms for each of the 3 groups that are doing the plays, the Green Eggs and Ham, Big Bang, and the Lorax. We could really use some more kids in the Lorax. So if you're one of the kids who hasn't told me what you're working on today, I'd love you to come and join us in the Lorax, okay? If you don't do the Lorax, you're going to need to do Science Mod 8 about the solar system. All right, here we go. So math 1601. Let's go there. I got to get it right there. Trying some triangles, it says. All right. Here it is. Here's our math lesson. It's 10 pages long. It is about classifying and learning some vocabulary words, basically. Corey and her friends are going on a scavenger hunt. They need to find lots of different shapes. They go on a walk through town to see what kind of shapes they can find. Today, we're really focusing on triangles. Triangles. Triangles have 3 sides. That's why they're called like tricycles. A triangle is a polygon. So there's lots of different kinds of polygons. That just means a many-sided shape with 3 sides and 3 angles. Find the triangles in the image to the right. Share how many you find with a friend or family member. So quickly counting, put in chat how many triangles you see in this drawing. 1, 2, 3, 4. These aren't really triangles because they chopped off the tops. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I only see 12. Oh no, 13, 14. I see like 14. I don't know if they're going to tell us how many were in there. Oh, let's see. 12. I see more though, because they didn't mark these little blue ones right here. That's the 13, 14. Oh, and look under here, under the bow, there's some more. They missed a few, didn't they?
Those blue ones are just part of the background. Like it's.
Well, but it just said in this image. Is that in the image? I think I could argue with that on that one. Okay, shapes like triangles have defining and non-defining attributes. A defining attribute is a really crazy way of saying something that it has. For example, a triangle has 3 sides and 3 angles. A non-defining attribute can change. For example, triangles can be colors and different sizes. True. 2-dimensional shapes have different characteristics that allow us to classify them. We know a triangle is a polygon with 3 sides. We can show the side lengths of the triangle using numbers or tick marks. So here's a 7-unit long, 4 and a 7. The same triangle has been shown on the left using numbers and then again using tick marks, showing when you see 2 lines like that, it means those sides are equal. This triangle has 2 sides with a length of 7 and 1 with a length of 4. That means 2 of the sides are equal in length. This is shown with the tick mark that shows that they're equal or congruent. One way we can classify triangles is based on their side lengths. Triangles that have 3 sides of equal length are called equilateral triangles. It means they are exactly the same on all 3 sides. Equilateral. Everybody say equilateral. It means all 3 sides are equal all the same sides, all the same angles. An isosceles triangle has two sides that are the same, but one is different. So you have one short side or one long side, and then two that are
Sorry.
that's okay. So an isosceles triangle, it's like you could chop it down the middle and it would be the same on both sides. A scalene triangle, or scalene, I'm not even sure how you say that word, has no sides of equal length. So none of the sides are the same. It's just a funky shaped triangle. So that's one way we classify triangles: equilateral, isosceles, or scalene. Scalene is a weird word. It's for the weird triangles. Equilateral is for the completely equal triangles. And then, isosceles is the other one, the one with just two sides the same. Since an equilateral triangle has three sides of equal length, it is also an isosceles triangle. So this one is an equilateral and an isosceles, because you could chop it down the middle and it would be the same. Cool. That's page 2. Page 3, tangle with a triangle. Okay, so here you're just going to practice classifying this. This one, again, all the sides are equal. It's an equilateral triangle. This one's a weird triangle, so it's a weird word. It's a scalene triangle. And this one has two sides the same, so it is an isosceles triangle. You might have to look back a few times to learn those funky words, funky Latin words. Corey is cutting and pasting to answer the next question on the scavenger hunt. Corey cuts a triangle. Her triangle has sides that are 8 inches. So this is the same thing. You're just practicing those 3 words: equilateral, isosceles. And it doesn't matter. Look at this one, looks like they're all the same. So I think it's an equilateral, but they don't really tell you that they're the same. Oh, here it says it is the same. So that's an equilateral. All right. So after you practice classifying triangles like that, we start into a new kind of classifying triangles. And that is using the angles. Detangle the angle. So an angle is the amount of space in here. If you turn all the way around, if you stand up and turn around, that's 360 degrees. There are 360 degrees in a circle when we're measuring around the inside. This is 360 degrees. So half of it is a 180. You've heard about people doing a 180. That's because when you flip around, that's 180 degrees. It turns out that the angles in a triangle make up 180 degrees. The angles inside every triangle do. So that if you were to cut here and put it next to this, and cut here and put it next to this, it will always form a straight line. There are 3 different kinds of angles. I don't think you've studied this too much this year, but a right angle is exactly 90 degrees, like sitting in a chair. It usually has this little square in the corner to show that it's 90 degrees. It's half of 180. It's a quarter of 360. That is a right angle, exactly like that. An acute angle, it's cute because it's little. It means that it's less than 90 degrees. And an obtuse, which is like an obese or fat angle, is more than 90 degrees. So when you look at this little shape, right here is the right angle. If this comes down, it's an acute angle. If it goes up, it's an obtuse angle. When all the angles inside a triangle are less than 90 degrees, it's classified as an acute triangle. So if you look at this one, it has 3 angles and they're all less than 90 degrees. So it's an acute because it's a cute little angles in there. But when you have a triangle that has an exact 90 degree in it, like exactly perpendicular, then that is a right triangle. And finally, any triangle that has a big, fat, open, wide mouth somewhere, like this one's 110 degrees, that's an obtuse triangle. So now we have 2 ways to classify triangles. This is a right triangle because it's got a 90-degree angle. It also has 3 sides of different lengths. So it is a scalene right triangle. I know this is very tricky vocabulary. So it's showing you that it's a right angle. That is an obtuse angle because it's more than 90 degrees, but it also is a shape. I think this side's shorter than this side. It's a little hard to tell. It could be exactly equal, in which case it would be an isosceles obtuse triangle. This one has two angles that are 70 and one that's 40. So that means they're all acute angles. It's an acute triangle, but it's also an isosceles triangle because you could chop it in half right here, and that side's exactly like this side. So there are two ways to classify triangles. One using the length of the sides and whether they're all the same or not, and the other one using how fat the angles are. It's a little tricky. You're gonna have to look back. All right, so now you're practicing saying whether these are acute or obtuse or a right angle. This one has three angles less than 90 degrees. What is that one? They're cute little angles. Ah, they're acute. That's right. Oh, this one has a big, obese, fat, wide angle. So it is an obtuse angle, right? Obtuse. It's the big, wide one. So it talks about it right here. There's that word, obese, obtuse. Cute, acute, cute little angles. And if it's 90 degrees right here, it's going to be a right angle, right triangle, because it's got a 90 degrees curve. Now that you've learned how to classify them by angles and you've learned how to classify them by sides, they're going to ask you to do both. So here's one like this. It has 55, 55, 70. So are those acute or obtuse? Oh, they're cute little angles. They're less than 90 degrees. So this is definitely an acute triangle, but look, it has two sides the same, not all three, so it's not equilateral, it's the isosceles, acute isosceles. There it is, acute isosceles triangle. Okay, guys, this one's a little bit tricky just because you have to remember a lot of words or look back or have a good chart. Do they have a resource for this? It would be great if they did, but I don't see one. Oh, here we go. Complete the printable worksheet, Triangle Sortapalooza. Use what you've learned to identify triangles. So this one has, well, let's look at the assignment because I think it's similar. No, it's a quiz. Okay, well, then it must be in the next lesson that you get to sort them. But let's look at the exercise here. Try it, and let's try it a little bit. So this is the Triangle Sortapalooza. I recommend you go to this because it will help you a little bit with the rest of it if you give it a try. It says, and you have this in your book, classify these triangles based on their angle measurements. So this one, you're just doing the angles. All three of them are less than 90 degrees. So they're cute little angles. Cute. This one has a big wide angle. So it is a fat angle or an obtuse angle. Okay, remember the cute ones are the little ones, the obtuse are the big ones. Classify the triangles on page 2 based on their side lengths and angle measurements. Cut them out and paste them here. If you don't want to do that, what I would recommend is put a number on each one of these. This will be number 1. This will be number 2. This will be number 3. So that you can do this online. But make sure you've numbered them all. This will be number 4. This will be number 5. I guess you don't have to turn this one in, but just doing it for yourself if you don't want to. 6 and 7. Okay, one of these goes in each of the boxes up above. Let's take a look. This one, acute or obtuse? I don't see any 90-degree angles or anything more than 90, so I think it's acute. And then the next thing I have to know is, does it have the same length sides? Nope, 8, 9, 6. So this is a saline acute triangle. So number 1 goes with saline acute. Let's go up here, saline and acute. Number 1. See if you can figure out which one goes in each box. Okay. I'm going to stop my share. You have a quiz for today or for tomorrow. So here is what you guys are going to do. I'll put it in the chat. Number 1, do 15.0. Now I've forgotten it again. 15.05, which is the end of Mod 5 math test. Next, do today's 16.01 math. And if you finish, go to your play breakout room and start watching the book read aloud so that you can see how to read it. And then you can start practicing, but we'll practice more at 12:20. Okay. So at this point, I'll put those links in one more time. We've got the Big Brag, Green Eggs and Ham, and Lorax. If you don't know what you're in, stay with me. If you haven't told me what you're doing today, stay with me. Otherwise, go and watch it be read after you do your math. I'm going to open up breakout rooms. If you have any questions on anything, I just have to tell you, some kids come to me 3, 4, 5 times a day and ask me questions, and others of you never do it. Okay. I'm going to let you choose your room, and I'm going to also put the plays in here. So we'll have the Lorax in room 1. We'll have eventually, you don't have to go there right now. We'll have Green Eggs and Ham in room 2. And we'll have the Big Brag in room 3. All right, I'm opening the rooms. If you have any questions, stay with me. If you have any problems with the math, come back and see me. And when you get done with your math, go to your breakout room with your play group and talk to them there. Okay? You guys should be able to choose rooms today. But choose a room other than 1, 2, 3 at the start if you can.
Which spots are open for the theater?
We need people in the Lorax. Do you remember
That is perfect. I actually
Perfect.
wanted to go to the Lorax.
Awesome. Okay, so I haven't given you guys your roles in the Lorax yet. Just when you're done with the math for today, go and watch those people reading the Lorax so you can remember how they say it, okay? Amadi, I've added you to the Lorax. Great. Eli, you're in the Lorax. Bree, you're going to do the science, right? Halame, what would you like to do? There's also monologues, Halame, that you could do. So respond to me in chat and tell me what you'd like to do, whether you'd like to do something with theater or whether you'd rather do the science. And I can't see the chat for some reason.